Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see a more full room. The February 23rd, 2021 meeting of the Marion County School Board is called to order. Board Member McCall, will you please read our commitment statement?
I certainly will. Marion County School District Governance Team, if we choose one word to describe us, it would be student-centered, because student success is our mission. When we come together to work, we are efficient, effective, and productive. Our three most important characteristics are dedicated, transparent, and individually responsible. To work well together, we must demonstrate respect, confront reality, and be accountable. We will always put students first, and we will leave a legacy of success.
Thank you, Board Member McCall. For the courtesy of those listening to the meeting, I am requesting everyone in the audience to please turn off your electronic devices or put them on vibrate. Later in the meeting, up to 30 minutes will be provided for individuals to address the board on matters concerning the operation of the Marion County school system or the school board only. Presentations to the board are limited to 5 minutes and are televised. If you wish to address the board regarding a regular agenda item or matters on which the board customarily takes action, you must first complete a peach form located on the table in the hallway. If you wish to address the board regarding a public hearing or a student discipline matter, please complete a lime green form. These forms must be fully completed and received by the board secretary no later than 5:40 p.m. The procedures applicable for each are on a separate sheet. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Allison Campbell, District 1.
Here.
Mrs. Beth McCall, District 2.
Here.
Mr. Eric Cummings, District 3.
Here.
Mrs. Nancy Thrower, District 4.
Here.
Mrs. Kelly King, District 5.
Here.
Dr. Diane Gullett, Superintendent.
Here.
Mr. Jeremy Powers, School Board Attorney.
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez-Lopez. Ms. Joanne Crowder, Fine Arts Program Specialist, please introduce who will be providing us with the inspiration and the pledge, please. Good evening.
Good evening. Chairperson Thrower, board members Mrs. King, Mrs. McCall, Reverend Cummings, and Mrs. Campbell, Attorney Powers, Superintendent Dr. Gullett, and Ms. Martinez-Lopez. Thank you for having us here. I'd like to thank our school board and our district and school administrators for supporting the fine arts through this difficult period. And I thank you in advance for your continued commitment to the arts in the Marion County Public Schools. I also thank our amazing art, music, dance, and theater teachers who have successfully overcome barriers and challenges brought on by the pandemic. This week, the Florida Department of Education sent a memo regarding the annual celebration of Arts in Our School Month during the month of March. The Department of Education states, Florida is proud to offer high-quality, rigorous, standards-based dance, theater, music, and visual arts education programs to K-12 students. The arts offer an attainable and tangible opportunity for all students to develop the character and social skills necessary to contribute to the education of the whole child and fuel the desire for continued success. As part of celebrating Arts Education Month in our schools in March, we encourage administrators and teachers to share their experiences with the arts and how the arts have inspired them both personally and professionally. And I'd just like to, as an aside, point out that we have two vocalists sitting on the board. One also plays the flute, and I happen to know Dr. Gullett is an aspiring artist as well. So you may find yourselves in some classrooms in the month of March. And Reverend Cummings, you're going to sing, right? He's like, I'm not even going to look at her. The Florida Department of Education thanks the administrators, teachers, and arts education stakeholders who continue to provide excellence and equity in arts education throughout the state of Florida. In Marion County, our schools and community recognize that the fine arts support the social and emotional well-being of students. The fine arts encourage students to stay in school. The fine arts help develop the knowledge and understanding of different cultures, traditions, and viewpoints and support inclusivity. And the arts also support creative problem-solving techniques. Studies also indicate that low-income students who engage in performing in visual arts courses are more likely to have attended and done well in college, obtained meaningful employment, volunteered in their communities, and, for school board members, voted. A report by the President's Committee on the Arts and Humanities reports that arts involvement in school is linked to higher attendance and higher graduation rates. But tonight, we are here to celebrate one of Marion County's exemplary music teachers. And I guarantee you, his kids want to come to school, even if it's just for him. He is all about our students. In October of 2020, Mr. Dean Marino of Westport High School was named Arts Educator of the Year by the Marion Cultural Alliance. Last month, Mr. Marino and the Westport Rock Pack were recognized at the state level with the Florida Music Educators Association 2021 Exemplary Model Program Award. And this is for the entire state. The Rock Pack program was selected as an innovative program that provides a significant positive impact on students and our community. And you'll get to hear more about Mr. Dean Marino and the Rock Pack from the principal of Westport High School, Mrs. Ginger Cruz.
Thank you so much, Ms. Crowder. It is my privilege to be here tonight. It is so awesome to be the principal at Westport High School. We have so many art and music programs because it does make a difference in the students' lives. They do want to come to school. And during this time of COVID, it's been amazing to see what these innovative educators have done. But when Joe asked me to say a few words about Mr. Marino, I could go on for hours. To be able to go into his classroom and see what he does, the magic that he does with his keyboarding class and his rock band 6th period, you got to come because it's the best. The concerts that he has with them, the problem solving that they learn from that, it's just absolutely amazing. And when you first hear, oh, we have a rock band class, you wonder, what are they doing at that school? But it is amazing what he's done over the years. So I am also privileged to have one of his previous students, Rachel Mays, who is Miss Mays, who just started as an official teacher with us today. She started in January as a substitute because she finished her degree at UNF in elementary ed. So now she is teaching in our IND unit. She came to the rock concert. It all happened at a rock concert. She walked in the door to see her brother, and her dad was behind her going, woo, woo. She just graduated with with her bachelor's degree, but had graduated with her AA degree from Westport in 2018. And so he was so proud. Can you believe she just graduated? And I said, what was your major? Elementary ed. I said, come to mama. So that was the story. And so she is with us, and today is her official day. So although she's been teaching for 2 months, and you need to come watch her teach because she's amazing. So I'm going to bring her on up and to share her story with Mr. Marino. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cruz. I owe a large part of who I am to the arts. Since I was little, I've been exposed to music, visual art, dance, and theater. I'm extremely grateful to have had the opportunity to take arts classes at every school that I have attended. One of the main reasons that I chose to attend Westport High School was because of the MECA program. And when I heard that there was a rock band elective, I pictured something kind of like School of Rock. But Jack Black is no Dean Marino. Mr. Marino helped me to become the musician that I am today. Being a part of rock band did not just help me musically, though. I made new friends, learned how to work with other people, and I found my voice. The rock band program was both a safe place and a creative outlet for me for 4 years. Looking back, my high school experience would have been vastly different without rock band. I'm grateful that I got to study under Mr. Marino, and now I get to work alongside him. It is with great pleasure that I get to introduce the man of the hour, Mr. Dean Marino.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here today. I want to thank Ms. Crowder for nominating me, Ms. Cruz and Ms. Reeder for their letters of support, and Rachel Mays for being a student leader in rock band for 4 years. You can see how amazing that she is. I also want to thank Mrs. Elsperman, Mr. McAteer, and Mr. Whitehouse for being open to my idea to start a rock band program 11 years ago. Like me, they recognized that even with all the amazing music and art programs that Westport had to offer, that there was a significant portion of our student population that felt connected to a different kind of music, those that might be up all night playing their guitar to Van Halen recordings but had nowhere at school to learn the process of creating that kind of music. Rock Band draws from all the diverse programs at our school. This mix of students gives the class its richness. There are many students at my school that would never meet each other, in my class, that would never meet each other if they hadn't taken Rock Band. The concept of Rock Band class is to teach the professional skills, understanding, and attitudes required in real-world situations in the music business. To be successful, students must deal with varied interpersonal relationships, take charge of the creative process, and problem solve, all with the collective goal of producing a professional product. Indeed, these are life skills they will take with them to whatever career they choose. I taught elementary school for 10 years before I moved to high school. The excitement for music I saw in those younger students is the same excitement I see in my high school students. For students of all levels, music is pure joy. It's an unparalleled motivator and a re-energizer. It prepares them for all their studies. This preparation was demonstrated by the students that then middle school teacher, Miss Joanne Crowder, would send to Westport. There were no students who were more prepared for either academic or art classes than those that she mentored, my personal children included. This pandemic has made all of us reevaluate what's important in our lives, what is essential. The significance of teachers and schools and their impact on society has come to the forefront. More urgently, we've learned how vital it is for our students' overall health to have a well-rounded, complete education and to be learning among their peers. This has been exemplified by my current Rock Band students, whose hardiness and dedication to their craft has been undeterred during these trying times. They have been truly remarkable. I want to thank you for the opportunity to teach Rock Band, and again for having me here today. It's very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't go anywhere
Don't
yet.
go anywhere yet, Mr. Marino.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mr. Marino, oh my goodness, we go so far back. I remember observing you in that evergreen classroom when you became Teacher of the Year in, what's it say up there, Ms. Crowder? 2003. I knew then that we had a keeper and we needed to really use his talents. He wrote a song for Golden Apple that we used for many years. And what you do with the kids, it's not just about music. And that's what I love, is you're teaching them so many other things. You're integrating reading, you're integrating math. You are doing what we need every music teacher to do. And there are many of you out there. But I want to say thank you for staying with us and for continuing to grow and to flourish and to do what you do at Westport High School. So you, young lady, are a perfect example of music has always been a huge part of my life from the time I was very small. And it is one of the reasons I am who I am today, all of the characteristics that I learned in music. So thank you for coming back to Marion County. And let's see, did you play guitar in Rock Band?
I sang and did a little bit of keys and guitar because he encouraged me to branch out.
Good. I'm so glad. Well, welcome back to Marion County, and thank you for teaching in our schools. Congratulations, Mr. Marino.
Thank you.
Thank you. And yes, Mr. Marino, you know, all kids are amazing, but it takes leadership, you know, to bring all of that out. And you've got Miss May standing right next to you, and that's just, you know, visible proof right there of everything that you do and how important it is. And as a big rock and roll fan, I'm really happy that you have this program. I've been to your concerts, and it's right up my alley. So thank you very much.
All of you come.
Thanks again.
And I echo everything that my fellow board members have been saying. Actually, whenever I came to visit Westport when I was a candidate for school board, I was able to witness firsthand how your student leaders literally lead. And they did. They performed for me, and I'm not even certain that you were in the room at the time, honestly. So, I mean, it was amazing to see and to witness. And I love that kind of innovative thinking, that not everything that we offer is going to appeal to everyone, but we need to find things that are going to appeal to each one. And so that's exactly what you're doing. And building bridges through music is a powerful lesson that we all can learn. I too have been a vocalist, as she mentioned. I was a thespian too, but we'll get to that another time. But yes, music was an incredible part of my life, starting from very, very young. But I distinctly remember my elementary school music teacher and my middle school music teachers and my high school experiences as well. And so those are things that you will carry with you all the way through college and beyond. And so I'm grateful for the leadership that you have shown to your students, and to bring a student back, obviously is exemplary of how powerful you were as a mentor to her. So thank you also for coming back to Marion County. We need you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And welcome to Marion County School District.
Thank you very much.
Again.
Yes, welcome back.
2.0.
Thank you. My board members did an
Yes.
excellent job. What stuck out to me, though, is you had an idea and you brought it. And this is what has come out of great ideas.
And very
And
receptive people to that at the time. That was fantastic, you know. They said, all right, that sounds good, let's give it a try.
and it was collaboration and people that listened. But it was just, when I heard that, it was just really stuck out to me, and I appreciate that leadership. And I also want to congratulate you for coming to education. You have one of the most noble professions that there truly are. And best of luck to you and your students, and thank you so much for what both of you do.
Yes.
Thank you.
And to Ms. Cruz and Ms. Crowder for facilitating and supporting. So, thank you all. Appreciate it. Okay, hard to top that. And the night's just beginning. Next, we have Cassandra Boston, Director of Federal Programs, who will be introducing Ocala Marion County Association of Realtors Chair that will recognize 2 teachers for grant recipients. So it just keeps getting better.
Good evening. Board Chair Thrower, Vice Chair King, board members, Dr. Gullett, Attorney Powers, Mrs. Martinez Lopez. I'm excited to be here this evening as we bring forth the representatives from the Ocala Marion County Association of Realtors to present funds to some of our schools through grants that they have written. They have been with us supporting our schools for the past 18 years, and we just love the opportunities for our schools when we have community who are able to come in and provide support to our schools. Again, I'm excited about it, and I'm going to introduce to you all the chair, Randy Alvord, Darlene Yance, and Suzette Whittington to make some presentations for our schools.
All right, thank you, Ms. Boston. Watching the TV out there, somebody said it's hard to top that. We're about to, okay?
I said it just keeps getting better.
I have, so here we go
Can't wait to
again.
see who's up after you.
Like Ms. Boston said, this is our 18th year doing it. We started out 18 years ago giving away $3,000 to mini grants applications. We moved that up to 6, and the last 5 or 6 years we've been trying to give away up to $10,000. This year has been a very challenging year. This is the first time ever that we only had, and I hate to say it, 2 applications. Normally we have dozens and dozens of applications to review. So Suzette, go ahead and hit your punchline right now.
Oh, just this is the first year that we've had 100%, we've been able to award 100% of our applicants.
She's been dying. She's been working on that joke all day. So thanks for laughing. Again, the 2 grants we gave, Amy Shaw of Fort McCoy requested $793 to purchase manipulatives such as Math Balance and Versatiles. Obviously, awesome. That's one that would have been rewarded in any year. And then this is a big one. We don't, being a mini grants, we try not to go this big most of the time. But Lakeisha Collier of the Pay Center for Girls requested $6,500 to purchase 4 computers for high school and 6 computers for middle school students. So will be used for testing for end-of-year course exams, PSAT, pre-GED, and other priority tests. So $7,300 gets to go to them. So I don't know if you got money from the last people that were speaking, but we have.
Thank you. Thank you, Randy.
And again, I'm just going to put in a shameless plug. I know the school board is a huge sponsor of the Southeastern Youth Fair, so you need to get through this meeting quick because the steer sale starts in
Right.
an hour and 5 minutes. Okay, so and don't overlook Class 5 champion. I mean, my daughter. Okay, we do need a picture because we have to prove we give away this money. So
Why don't they come up here?
Yeah.
okay, we'll come up in
here.
front of the dais there.
Awesome, you're taking one too?
There we go. Quick pick.
Thank
That was a
you.
quick pick. Yeah, the first group didn't give away any money, so I guess they'll be coming to you for that.
So before you.
Yes, before you run away.
You guys have done this for so many years, and we are so appreciative to everything that the Realtors Association does. We want to, hopefully the relationship will continue. Hopefully we'll have more applicants next year. But
Kind of weird year. I don't know what happened, but it's
But thank you so much. Every year we look forward to seeing you and you representing your organization well and giving those grants away. So thank you so much.
all right. No problem. Thank you. We
Thank
look
you.
forward to being here a long time.
I promise you, it's not just about the money. It's your support, truly. Thank you. Okay, and next up, we have Mr. Kevin Christian, Director of Public Relations and Multimedia Productions, to introduce the individuals who are being recognized for National Transportation Week. See, it does just keep getting better.
I do not have arts teachers with me tonight.
Oh, but you got bus folks.
I do not have scholarship dollars to give away. But what I do have are bus drivers. Let me tell you that in my job, I get to do some incredible things, and tonight is one of those moments. I think bus drivers have the hardest job in our district. They have to greet and welcome students in the morning when students don't want to go to school. And they have to get them home safely in the afternoon with a smile on their face when kids are rambunctious and ready to be home and away from school. And to do it all gracefully and compassionately and with smiles on their faces, that's why I say they have the hardest job in our district. And we truly have to have drivers to make the wheels on the bus go round and round. In our district, we have over 300 bus drivers. Now, some may argue that number, but 300 would never be enough, would it, Miss Rora? Never, ever. National School Bus Driver Appreciation Day, depending on which calendar you look at, is tomorrow. So if you see a school bus driver, thank them for their efforts. Tonight, I want to introduce you to two who are very unique in and of their own rights. Amy Rossetti, Amy, if you'll join me right here. Amy has been with the district for just 1 month. She's a newbie, she's a neophyte to our school district, but we are so happy to have you here. And she just got here a few minutes ago. Why? Because you were running your route, weren't you?
Yeah.
She was driving her bus. That's what we want her to do. She's a new member of Team Transportation. She started on January the 8th, and she comes to us with her CDL. At least that's what they told me. That's true. Okay. And she came to us with experience from Sumter County and even outside the state of Florida. So, Amy, thank you for joining our team. We are thrilled to have you here tonight to help represent some of those 300 bus drivers district-wide. Okay? Stay right here. Next, I want to introduce you to Miss Glenda Walker, who's going to come and stand to my left. Miss Glenda has been with us for 33 years. She's been through a few tires on her bus. She is our 4th most senior driver, and she's been working for our districts and for our kids since 1988. Where were you in 1988? I don't think any of us were driving a bus. Most interestingly, though, I think, she was born and raised right here in Ocala and is a graduate of Vanguard High School. So Ms. Glenda, thank you for what you do and the example that you set. No doubt you're an inspiration to many of those 300-plus drivers across the district. So to show our little bit of appreciation to you, I have what I'm going to call loosely our swag bag. Now, there's no scholarship dollars and there's no cash prizes, but it's a little bit of token that we can say thank you for what you do. Nobody else gets these. You're the only 2 bus drivers that have them, so they're good as gold. But we just wanted to showcase our bus drivers in a way that puts faces to the positions, including the 20 that you recently approved, from some of our newest employees to some of our most experienced employees. So on behalf of our board and our superintendent and all of us, thank you both. And I'm fairly certain that our board will have something to say to you. So.
Go ahead, Ms. McCall.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I personally do not think I could do your job. I'm going to be very honest about that. So what you do on a daily basis to get our kids to school safely and then to get them back home safely is in my opinion, it is one of the top jobs in our school system, because we can't teach them if they're not there. So thank you for what you do. I know it's a difficult job, but we greatly appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for choosing us. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Thank you for choosing us, first of all, where you could be driving anywhere else. Thank you for choosing Marion County. We're very grateful that you're putting that CDL to work right here in town. And in 1988, I was riding a bus. I was in elementary school, actually. Sorry to say, but I was riding a bus, and I know how valuable bus drivers were in my school career, and how important what you all do, what all of our bus drivers do, for the safety and security, well-being of our students, and understanding that you're the first and last face from the school district that they often see every day. And we're just so grateful for all that you're doing and continue to do.
And I just want to say thank you so much, because I think sometimes we pass buses on the road all the time, and we never really think about the job that you guys do on a daily basis. The responsibility that you all have is tantamount to any other success that this district will have, because you have to get them there safely, you have to get them back home safely, and oftentimes I think that you have a better view of the student than many of the people in the classroom or the school may have, because you see where they really come from. And sometimes that gives you a greater connection to that student. So I want to applaud all of you. You two represent the others that are in that profession, not only your bus drivers, but your bus aides, because you have a job that many people could not do. As Ms. McCall said, you're driving a huge vehicle with 30, 40 kids behind you, and you're trying to look down the road and look behind you at the same time. I don't think any teacher wants that responsibility of trying to look in front of them and behind them at the same time. So you guys don't get enough credit for what you really do, and I just want to tell you thank you. I applaud you too, but I also applaud the rest of you that are in that profession. So thank y'all for what y'all do every day, every day.
Yeah, I also want to say thank you so much. And Pastor Cummins, I think there's a correction. You said 30 to 40 students. It can be up to like 70 or 80 students.
I would jump off the bus.
Just double it. Just double that responsibility. So that even shows you how what the responsibility truly is that you have operating those school buses and managing 70 to 80 students behind you to get them all safely home to their parents that evening. You guys are the first ones to greet them in the morning and say, hello, come to school, welcome, or, what's going on. And guys are the last ones to tell them goodbye in the evening and see you tomorrow. And you guys, even during this pandemic, when there have been shortages and the going was tough and rough, you guys stood strong. You guys did it, and you did what you had to do, and I am very grateful for that, and I know our students and our parents are too, so thank you.
Yep, you did it, you're still doing it, and I think you'll likely keep doing it. You're holding swag bags, but you really are the gifts.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Y'all don't have anything y'all want to say? Wait a minute. Hold up.
Now's your
Let me say this, because I go talk to y'all.
Okay.
And whenever I come and talk to y'all, y'all have so much to say.
That's true.
So this is your opportunity to say whatever you need to say. Oh, y'all tongue-tied now. That's okay. It's okay.
Well, me being here 32 years.
Move up to the mic.
Sorry. I've seen changes. I've seen good changes, bad changes, and I just appreciate my job. I've been driving this for 32 years, and I wouldn't have it any other way because the kids, the people that I work with, I admire that. I enjoy that. And one of my kids asked me today, Miss G, how long you been driving bus? And I told her 32 years. Miss G, I don't believe I could do that. I said, I don't want you to do that. And but she asked me that I enjoy it, and I do. I really enjoy my job. And at this point, I don't think I could go back 32 years ago and do it different. Just when you hear you say you appreciate us, we hear that, and I think we don't get recognized enough for our job. And sometimes it get frustrating. Sometimes, you just let it breeze on. And me at this point, 32 years, I just started appreciating my drivers, who I work with, my coworkers. Here's a gift, token of love for what you do. Under the circumstances, under the pandemic now, we come to work, try to stay safe, we spray, we hand sanitize. So I'm appreciating them for coming to work for something stressful. Because some of them, you hear them, they're stressed out. They don't, why, how, when, do I need to come back tomorrow? You hear all of this stuff, and I'm saying to myself, oh my God. So it came to me, just give them a token of love for what you do, for coming every day for 180 days. We don't know how long it's going to last, but 180 days so far this year. So, I'm just thankful for my job and what I do. I'm grateful. I enjoy it. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
And we're grateful to you all. We're truly grateful to you all. Truly.
The kids are awesome. I mean,
Step up
you
to the
have
microphone.
some drivers that'll tell you that some kid, like my route was I had bad kids on the bus. There really isn't a bad kid. You just have to know how to work with them.
That's right.
And get them to, if you treat them with respect, they'll give you respect back.
That's
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you both. All right. Gosh, that was quite the opener. It's good to see so many people back. I know, maybe we can go home now. I don't think so. Take care, everyone. All right, Superintendent Gullett.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. That's really hard to follow. What an inspiration. I recommend approval of the agenda for the February 23rd, 2021 school board meeting with the materials in the board packet, those materials distributed to board members at the meeting, and the audio recording included as part of the official record of the meeting.
I have a motion on the superintendent's recommendation. Moved by Cummings.
Second.
Second by Campbell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the January 7th, 2021 administrative briefing and work session?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. McCall, second by Vice Chair King. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the January 12th, 2021 school board meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Campbell, second by Cummings. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion passes 5-0. I will now ask the school board's attorney to explain the rules governing persons who wish to address the school board tonight. Good evening, Mr. Powers.
Good evening. In compliance with Section 286.0114 of the Florida statutes, the school board has adopted uniform procedures for public speakers who wish to speak at tonight's meeting, either regarding one of tonight's agenda items or a matter relating to the operations of the district. These procedures will ensure that the public has reasonable opportunity to be heard on school board and school district matters. A written summary of these procedures is available from the table in the hallway. Public speaker forms are also located on the same table. The completed forms were due to the school board secretary no later than 5:40 p.m. Tonight's speakers will be called prior to the business portion of the school board's meeting in the order of receipt by the school board secretary. Before you begin speaking, please state your full name and address for the record and spell your last name. Each speaker will have 5 minutes of time. However, if there are more than 5 persons who wish to speak, the board may seek consensus to limit each speaker's time to 3 minutes. When the speaker has 1 minute remaining, the speaker will receive a visual notice to complete his or her comments. Speakers may not yield their time to other people. Speakers and meeting attendees are expected to conduct themselves in a respectful manner. Therefore, verbal attacks and profanity are strictly prohibited. Pursuant to the procedures for public comments, item 6, speakers are not to identify specific individuals other than themselves or their child unless a statement is provided 24 hours in advance. If there are matters dealing with student discipline, including expulsions, they'll be scheduled at the conclusion of the televised portion of this meeting. Parents may address the board regarding a discipline matter at that time. To ensure student privacy, only a parent or guardian may use a student's first or last name. Identifying references to or identification of other students and or their families is strictly prohibited. Thank you for your attention to the board's requirements. Madam Chair, that concludes my explanatory remarks.
Thank you, Attorney Powers. Madam Secretary, do we have any speakers this evening?
Yes, we have 3 speakers. Ms. Cynthia Galatro.
All right. Good evening. Come on down.
All right. Well, I might have a little light humor or a little joke.
Maintain the spirit of the evening.
I also want to know, we jotted a few type notes. We have 8, and I wanted to see if I could just pass them around.
Sure, I'll take them.
Thank you. The first one is somebody did additionally, there's only one of that.
Okay. What would you like for this one to happen? I'll give these
I'm
each
not
to
sure.
the board members.
Yes, I'm not sure. It was some things that seemed real important,
Okay.
so.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see. I haven't done this in a long time.
Give Attorney Powers just a second. When he's seated, he'll go ahead and start the
Okay.
timer.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, I'm going to give you
Okay, thank you.
a note.
Okay.
There's a good place to start, too. Good evening, Dr. Gullett. Attorney
Powers. Jeremy Powers.
Thank you. Elena Martinez. Chair Madam, Mrs. Thrower. Chair Kelly King. Chair Beth McCall. Chair Allison Campbell. And Chair Eric Cummings. I'm sorry. So anyway, I work at Bellevue Santos Elementary. I've been probably with the school board 18 years. I had a break in service. I had gotten extremely ill years ago. But I'm close to retirement age, but I don't want to retire because my heart is full every day with what we do with the children we see. I can't imagine, I have friends, why aren't you retired and this and that. I'm like, the school is a big part of me, and there's a lot to do right now. At my school, I am very proud that I do a lot of interaction with families, and I know families, their children have gone out of our school, and we still see them in the community. I'm at the bus, at the car pool, lots of times in the morning, greeting them with a smile and hi, and the little girls are like, I got my nails, and I'm like, oh, they're so cute. And the dads are just eating that up. And it's just, they're getting a greeting. They're getting a warm person, which everybody should have every day. And I bring a lot of warmth. I'm a grandmother. I have an 18-year-old grandson with honors, graduating this year. I have a 42-year-old son, very successful in real estate. So what I really want to talk about a little, and it looks like I'll probably just skim over everything. I consider myself an oldie but goodie, and my education was the School of Hard Knocks. And I really do believe that I'm a person that's never had it easy. But the thing about never having it easy is when you finally get everything together, that you're a very understanding person and you could deal with a lot and understand and have a lot of compassion, which this world is very lacking at this moment. We wanted to talk mostly as I'm a kindergarten para. I have 2 ladies that work with me. And the 3 of us, we're not young, we're grandmothers, empty nesters, and we provide so much love and caring and instruction to these children. There is so much that goes on. People would almost have to see what goes on in a day. In addition to all of that, they have to wear their masks. If the teacher were in there alone, if you have your head this way, there's 4 things going on here. It's just too much. They all have their little egos. They all think they're number one. Some of them haven't had a lot of instruction. And so they think like we're responsible. They all jump in. They push, they do all kinds of things. But I will say, with all that being said, that our kindergarten is thriving this year. We've been doing Venn diagrams. I teach them the writing, and I've got them, I'm a perfectionist the best I can, and I've got them writing the little pictures and spelling the best they can, and I'm so passionate about teaching. I sometimes wish people would listen to me more because I feel that I could take any child because of the way I love them and talk to them and all kinds of things that I could do a lot of good in possibly even another area because of the fact that we're being made to do everything, and we do everything. We work 6 hours. Most of us put in 7 because there's just things to do, and we're excited, and I'm very excited. So here I can stay home or go to the villages and drink all night, or I can come and spend the time and make a difference with kids. And you know, kids, and the kids are all caught in a shuffle. So why not have people that give their heart? And my heart is with my school also, that I'm very big. There'll be a little letter in there of some of the things that I have done. I'll just see if there's anything. There's probably a million things. We had to do this very fast. I spend, and the other 2 ladies, 5 hours with these children. Now, my contract time is 6 hours, so we have our breaks and we have our lunch. We spend 5 hours. We go to specials. When we go to specials, we interact. We are there in the PE fields. We are there with our teacher helping, and we have a good rapport with all of them. We are there in music. We also take the children, our kindergartners, they have a special room for their lunch, isolated. A funny thing, the other day, we went in there and there was an odor that wasn't too pleasant. And so I had to make a decision. And so anyway, we went out to the picnic table. So the next day I go to take them in. They all get in there and they're all holding their nose. They're adorable and they're cute. And I can make a list. I have it here and I'm talking too much, but a list of all the things we do, and we do a lot more than a lot of people understand, and I guess I'm going to wrap it up.
Thank you very much, Ms. Quattro.
Okay, thank you.
Miss Amy Laura?
Yep, it's Amy Loria, Loria, 11620 Southwest 50th Circle, Ocala, Florida 34476. That good? All right, awesome. Thank you for having me. I recently became aware of a limitation with our Sky Alert system, and so I thought it was important enough that I did want to bring it to everybody's attention. I think the best way to do that is to kind of give you a little bit of background of how I identified this problem. I called Westport High School. Last week, I have 2 boys, one a senior, one a sophomore, at Westport High School. So I called them on Friday to ask if there was a way to remove me from the bus transportation alerts, because anytime that there's a delay with the bus in the morning, they will call, and sometimes it's at 6 a.m. I struggle with debilitating migraines, and if I get woken up at 6 a.m. with a phone call just out of the blue, it can trigger a migraine, and it can last for 2 days. So I asked if I could just have myself removed from that. They explained that they couldn't really do that because it was all tied together. They said that I had to potentially just remove my kids altogether from the bus. My sophomore does take the bus sometimes if my senior is out sick or if he has to go to a track meet, has to leave school early. So I can't really remove him from the bus system. The other thing they said is they could remove my phone number altogether from the system, but that is my emergency contact phone number. I'm a single mom. The idea of my boys not being able to get in contact with me and the school doesn't have my information, that literally will keep me up at night. So I called and spoke with them. They walked through some different options, and they said they need to escalate it with the school board. So I got a call yesterday, and they said there really is no other option. There's no way to limit just to the main alerts. There's no way to even get email, because I'm actually a very visual person. I actually would prefer to get the alerts over email. I can hear something, but then I will always like to look at the visual email from it so that I can absorb the information better. They said that no, and actually any of the administrators who are actually putting out the alerts, they have the option to choose whether it's an email that goes out with that voice alert or if it's just voice alert. So I said, well, if there's an option for the admin for something like that, I said maybe what we do is make it always email and voice so that everybody has that option, and allow the option for the parents to choose how they're receiving those alerts. And they said it's just not set up that way. So I do know that anytime you go through contract negotiations, that is something, it's one of those options that you have to include. And I'm just hoping that you guys can include that as a consideration when you do contract negotiations with Skylert, to allow that as an option. Because for me, basically what I'm having to do right now, because my boys for the past 2 years, it's been one of those bus routes that does have a continuing problem with keeping a bus driver on staff. So I sometimes will get 2 alerts a week. And like I said, that's a very scary thing to be out with a migraine for 2 days. So I would just love it if you guys could include that as a consideration when it comes time for the next contract negotiations.
Thank you very much. It's nothing that I had heard of or thought of, and that's why people come forward, and it's important.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that something that has to go through some type of negotiation, or is that something within the program, Kevin? Can you give us?
We can request that, but the service that we subscribe to is a national service from a company based out of California. It is actually an international program that we use called School Messenger. We brand it Skylert because of Skyword, but this is my 4th mass notification system, and I've never seen a system where we can get that granular. Because when you're dealing with, we have about 98,000 phone numbers in the database, and to draw it down to a specific situation like that, I've never seen it happen. I won't say that it can't happen, but my experience, I've never seen it draw down to that specific level.
And that's why I asked, because I use a alert system through my church, and it's hard to get it down to that granular specific person. I can do a group of people, but then that takes them out completely of the system. And I don't know if you need to be completely out of the system.
Well, and I suggested that because I thought I don't mind removing myself altogether, but the problem is the emergency contact information. They said once my number is taken off, then they don't have the emergency contact information, which to me seems pretty scary that that's the only way you guys are contacting me.
All right.
So I feel like there's got to be a happy medium for that. I don't know what that is. I rely on you guys as the experts, but it is a problem. So Right now, I'm actually unplugging my phone at night and then plugging it back in the morning because I don't need those alerts. So that's my workaround in the meantime, but it would be great if there was a better solution that kind of helped people out in that situation.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. I
Yes,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. And I'm sure our tech folks are listening, and knowing them, they're thinking.
Good, good. Well,
We can
thank
do
you.
something, I'm sure we will.
Do you guys need me still here, or?
May I ask for future inquiry in case it comes up?
Sure.
Are you talking about a home phone or a cellular phone that you're?
Well, so
Getting an alert.
mine's a home phone. I live in a house that has metal studs. So it's like a big giant Faraday cage. So I don't get cell service in my house. So I have 2 landlines, one for business because I work from a home office, and then one for my home line. So it is my home line that is attached to it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Everybody have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Ms. Tracy Chin.
It's Tracy Chin, Chinn, 3931 Southeast 52nd Street, Ocala, Florida, 34480. Good evening, board members, Superintendent Gullett. I was at the last board meeting. There were a lot of comments about what was being done with the Howard Academy. I was very pleased to hear that you were going to create a committee, including the people in the community, to aid in making decisions about how the facility would be used. Whenever you want buy-in, the people directly impacted should be involved in the planning and decision-making. I would ask that you use that same logic when discussing teacher evaluations. I spoke at the last board meeting about the problems with the current evaluation system. I left after I spoke, but I did watch the rest of the meeting, and it was nice to hear that you were planning to look into this, and most of you made comments about a need for some changes. One board member stated that she thought some of my comments were unfair. I disagree. I attended an MEA meeting just last night. It was again stated that this board has not responded to the MEA's request to sit together and come up with a more fair evaluation. If you are discussing evaluations, how would the people being directly affected know that? Because it's not being shared. The MEA and teachers in general should be part of that conversation. If you want teachers to be happy with the decisions that are being made, allow them to be part of the process. Give teachers the same consideration that you are giving the community surrounding Horizon Academy. When I spoke at the last meeting, I also made a comment about hearing you say how much you appreciate what teachers do, but needing to see it in your actions. I was in no way saying that the kind words are not appreciated, because they very much are. We just want to see that you fully understand what this year is like for those in the trenches working at the school level during this pandemic. I'm going to share just a few of the problems that we face every day that you may or may not be aware of. For starters, we don't want students to congregate in groups, so instead of waiting till a bell rings, they must go directly to class as soon as they arrive on campus, and this is a loss of 15 minutes of planning every day. Because families are allowed to change their child's mode of learning at will, students go from face-to-face to online, back again to face-to-face. It's like a revolving door with some of our students. Now, I'm not saying all families do that, but some students, it is a revolving door. When they change, teachers have to do transfer grades. They have to go in and make additions to teams to make sure the students can actually do the online work, and countless other tasks that add up quick as a drain on precious planning time. These changes are happening daily. Because their online teacher may not have a face-to-face option for them, not only does the period change, but the teacher often changes. Teachers are getting new students and losing students daily. Teachers have to spend precious time, instructional time, going over procedures and expectations for those new students daily. Student attendance is a huge issue. Teachers regularly lose students for 10 days at a time because of COVID or COVID exposure. Many teachers teach online classes. I have online classes. I've heard that I'm not alone in having trouble getting the students to turn their cameras on during class time. If we can't see the students, how can we be sure that they're not signing in and then just tuning out to watch TV or other things? I have students online who I see holding and caring for younger siblings. They're riding through a drive-through and ordering lunch. They're laying in bed during school hours. I hear televisions going, families arguing, babies crying, and many other distractions in the background. And yet, I am responsible for their performance online as part of my BAM score. Teachers who have students with accommodations that include smaller class size, support facilitators, ESOL paraprofessionals are not getting those accommodations. Schools cannot get substitutes right now. So who do you think they're using? They are pulling those support facilitators, those ESOL paraprofessionals. So the teachers who are teaching students who need more support are teaching more students with less support. Teachers don't want to hear that you are discussing things between yourselves. Teachers are the ones impacted. We want to be included in this conversation. The MEA wants to be included. I want to be included. In my opinion, every teacher in this county should automatically receive a highly effective rating for showing up and working hard under these extreme circumstances. I hope I have shed some light on why the evaluation system from previous years is not acceptable in these current conditions. If you use the same formula that you've used in the past, teachers won't even have a fighting chance to prove their worth. We need you to show us that you understand, that you care, and that you will make these changes for us. The MEA is waiting to hear from you to have this discussion. Thank you.
Don't go nowhere.
Thank you.
I'm going nowhere yet. This is the second time.
I'll be back.
No, you need to address it now, Madam Chair, because this is the second time she's been back, and we need to at least give them the honor and the respect and knowing that we are listening to you. Maybe we need to do something, I'm just a suggestion, some type of a town hall or something with the MEA or with the teachers so that we can at least hear what they have to say. I hear you. All of us hear you. I was at your school yesterday, and I saw some things that really disturbed me. And the things that I saw disturbed me that were in direct relation to your BAM scores. I was there probably 35 to 40 minutes late after the school bell rang, and there was still a line of cars of people coming in, dropping their kids off late. That directly affects the teachers' BAM. So we have to not just keep kicking the can down the road. We have to have that conversation. I agree with you. I'm sure my other board members agree with you as well. But we just need to figure out how we need to do it.
Well, I've read over that statute, and I've got ideas, and that's what I'm saying, if I can be involved in that, because I've read it from beginning to end, and there is wiggle room in there. There is wiggle room. There's things we can do.
So can we?
So, I don't know, Attorney Powers, is it a union? Does it have to go through negotiations? What can we do?
Have a public meeting at any time on any topic that the board chooses. As far as any kind of negotiation, that doesn't happen in this kind of meeting. If we want to have an informational meeting where we discuss potential options or whatever, that's fine. It's not a negotiation, though.
Correct.
It's not that's right.
Because I feel like the concerns have been conveyed loud and clear. I feel like I'm past that. I feel like, okay, so what's the plan?
Well, Madam Chair, with all due respect, the concerns have been heard, but obviously there's a group in our district that feel like they have not been heard completely. Am I?
Well, there's been no decision.
Nothing's been done about it.
There hasn't been a decision yet, so everybody's on pins and needles. Dr. Gullett.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Yeah, no decision's been made at all. So I can have Mr. Vianello come forward. He is spearheading this work and looking at the data and the options with the state and what that looks like, because I too have talked to a number of teachers, and we know these are very challenging times. And so there are some things under our control and others that perhaps might be able to be negotiated.
Good evening, Dr. Gullett and board members. And yes, Ms. Chen, we have heard the concerns. I have talked to Mr. Avery. We are looking to reconvene the assessment committee that Dr. Gullett mentioned last board meeting, and that meeting the schedule will go out. It'll go out in the next few days, and we're looking to hold that meeting prior to spring break. So we're working with our administrators. When you look at the instructional practice, the data suggests of the 4 domains that the teachers are rated in, 3 out of the 4 domains, 3 out of the 4, the average teacher score is highly effective. Now, that doesn't include the VAM score. So that is something that we will continue to problem solve collectively with the union. Ms. Chen, you will receive an invitation. We would certainly like to have you on that committee. We are having some internal conversations, and then we will take those discussions to the committee. They will meet prior to the spring break. I won't put a timeline on when we'll have recommendations, but the group will work collectively together to develop those recommendations.
So your first meeting is before spring break?
Correct. And that invitation, it will go out in the next few days.
So what can the school board's role be in this process? I think that's what we all want to know. Do we even have a role in this process? Is it even in our wheelhouse? I mean, it's very clear what our role is as school board members and then what management's role is. So I'm not even sure that we have a role in the discussion of how they are evaluated. So we need to find that out. I don't think we do have a role in that.
Well, I think we need to.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Vanelli, you all met before too, right? You guys talked about this, and I think MEA had a proposal.
They did, and
So this is not the first meeting.
correct. We did have a meeting in the first semester when we reconvened, when we had our assessment committee came together, and they looked at a variety of options on bringing MCPS online to campus testing was one of the things we looked at. The VAM scores was something that we started back in November. We were waiting to see if there was some guidance that was provided by the state, and we haven't received that guidance as of yet. So it is time for us to make our own decisions, and there is some flexibility in the statute. I do agree with you, Ms. Chen, on that. So we will collectively look at this, and then we will certainly discuss at Executive Cabinet, and if Dr. Gullett and the board would like, we would certainly come to the board and provide some what the results were of those collective conversations.
I think we need to be kept in the loop, but again, I say we need to talk to the Florida School Board Association and see what can our role be in this process. I'm not sure that we have a role other than you bringing us recommendations.
Well, there's been so much uncertainty for the past year. Everything has been uncertain, and it becomes more anxiety-provoking when the wheels are grinding so slowly, because teachers do have so many what I call confounding variables this year, that how can we hold them accountable in the same way? And I said this before, it just doesn't make any sense. But since the state has not yet come forward with what their grace and compassion may be, then I think it's time for us to, as you said, come forward with ours. So whatever that ends up being, and whatever the Florida School Boards Association shares can be our role. And we want to be part of it, but we also want to make sure that we're supporting the work that is being done. So that's where I am with this.
I think that's where we have to be with it right now.
So just to reiterate, a teacher's overall evaluation is made up of 2 parts, the instructional practice part and then the VAM. The 2 are combined for the overall rating. Of the instructional practice part, I just want to reiterate that of the 4 domains, 3 of the 4, the average teacher score is highly effective. And so I'd like the board to recognize that our administrators are showing compassion. They are working with the teachers with things that they can control in the evaluation system. What we have yet to determine and to come up with a plan and finalize the plan is how we're going to deal with the VAM piece, and that's what we're tackling next.
Yeah. And that's what I've been, my own research. There's so many variables that are beyond their control. And I think that's what we need to look at. And
Knowledge, right?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
And to your point, Board Member Cummings, that we recognize that. And so again, and it's not comfortable because of this waiting period and not wondering, but we have to be really careful that we're compliant with state requirements as well in the VAM component. But certainly the mercy and grace has been, I think, evidenced in data when we look at what's happening with the instructional practice score. So we will continue to work through this, and we'll update the board.
Okay, okay. Yes, and it would be good to hear from, Mr. Avery too, when you guys are here. You're the ones that are in the trenches doing the work, and I get that. I know all of you. But at the same time, your leader is your leader, and it would be nice to hear from him too next time. But thank you for coming, all three of you. You're all wonderful representatives of everything that's good about Marion County Public Schools. So thank you for your advocacy.
Can I mention one thing, because I was addressed, so I do want to address, since I had that. 2 weeks ago, when I said that it was unfair, I think what happened, I know what happened. I think there was some miscommunication, because you're coming from that aspect of hey, this is what's happening. I'm school board, so I'm thinking, I've heard these conversations, and we've discussed this about holding teachers harmless, and we understand completely how difficult this year has been, and how more so than ever. I mean, you, as a teacher, things are out of your control. There are different things that are happening, but even more so this year. So when I heard that it was falling on deaf ears, I was wondering, how could that fall on deaf ears? Because we've talked about it, not at that time understanding that you guys were reaching out, to leadership in that. So that's what that was. It was miscommunication. So
On my part too, because I thought the school board had control of that. So,
I don't think we
which
do.
is why I was coming to you guys, but I'll continue to, if this is the only public way to get it out there. I will be back because,
We'll find out from the Florida School
Okay.
Association, but I'm telling you, I truly believe that this falls under management, which is under the superintendent's purview and not under the school board. We are policy and the fiscal agents, but personnel comes under the superintendent.
And hopefully most people have gotten to know this school board well enough to know that we're in it to win it. We want to support everything that's good.
This new regime, I don't think you would have as many people ever coming forward with the last regime. There wasn't that comfort level. There wasn't that feeling that we could discuss things openly. So we do appreciate it. We do see that. We are now coming out and saying, hey, let's make some of these changes for the better. And I appreciate you guys listening, and I just would really like to see some action.
Also, you don't have to wait 2 weeks or a month either. If there is something that you see, you could reach out to us, you could email us, call us, whatever. And
Ms. Thrower can tell you, I've reached out several. I'm not shy, so she's the one
No, you're not.
with my school. So if I have an issue,
Let me.
but you're the one that gets things done. I see that. Oh, yes, sir. So you'll be hearing from me. You will be hearing from me.
That makes me feel much better.
Let me say this for the record. They're all our schools. I was at Fort King because it's all our schools.
That's true.
Every one of these, and sometimes people look at that list and say, your district 1, 2, 3, they're all our schools. So reach out to any of us, and we all get it done.
Okay.
We all get it done. As a board, I promise you, we will get it done.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. All right. May I have a motion to approve consent agenda items C 6.1 through C 23.1? Moved by Board Member McCall, second by Board Member Cummings. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion passes 5-0. Moving on to donations, may I have a motion to approve the following cash or tangible donations that have a total value of $5,000. $1,000 to Liberty Middle School from an anonymous donor. $2,500 to Stanton Weirsdale Elementary School from their business partner, Osley Construction, via the Public Education Foundation of Marion County. $1,500 to Vanguard High School from their business partner, Rainey's Incorporated, via the Public Education Foundation of Marion County.
So moved.
Moved by Campbell, second by King. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion passes 5-0. Ms. Campbell, would you please give our thanks tonight?
Absolutely. It's my honor, and I'm always so grateful whenever we have contributions from the community, because this truly is a group effort. And especially whenever we have business partners showing up through the Public Education Foundation, I believe we do still have some schools that are needing business partners. So certainly if you are in the community and would like to be one of those contributors, we would be grateful to have you. And I love it when anonymous donors show up, because that really shows that people are wanting to contribute and wanting to support in any way they possibly can. So thank you so much to the community and to all of our business partners who are participating in ensuring we have quality education in our schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Campbell. And here are some meeting reminders. The following administrative briefing and work session is scheduled for March 4th, 2021 at 9 a.m. The purpose of the work session is to discuss Help Struggling Learners, Early Childhood Learning Academy proposal, District Offices MTI update, Transportation Custodial updates, Social Emotional Learning curriculum, NESE special program and procedures, followed by a shade session. The following administrative briefing and work session is scheduled for April 5th, 2021 at 9 a.m. The purpose of the work session is to discuss new charter school application review, annual review of alternative learning, 2021 updates, and 2022 funding projections, self-funded health plan 1 of 2, Code of Student Conduct 1 of 2, District Emergency Management Procedure Manual 1 of 2, 5-year school plant survey, and COVID-19 updates. All right, on to committee reports, concerns, and comments. We'll start with Dr. Gullett this evening.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I just want to thank the Women's Club of Ocala. Had the opportunity to attend the spelling bee late last week in the evening, and they sponsored, with the help of Mr. Christian as an MC, students participating, competing to be the district spelling bee champ. You might think, what about a spelling bee? But what they do to prepare and learn and compete, those are great life skills for them. So I was really impressed by my conversations with them. So congratulations to Olivia Gianfrancesco, who is the overall winner from Liberty Middle School. She correctly spelled samosas, and there were some tough words, but what great leadership abilities that they had there on stage. So just great shout out to them. So thank you.
Thank you. Attorney Powers.
Yes, board members, tomorrow, as you know, we have a employee disciplinary hearing tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Before you leave, I do have for each of you a notebook which has been prepared with transcripts and Department of Administrative Hearings recommendations. So I'm here to assign you all homework. So there you go.
Never get away from it.
That's all that I have for this evening.
Okay, thank you very much, Attorney Powers. Ms. King.
Yes, I only have one thing this evening. I was looking at our next 2 work sessions, and I know one of them you're not going to be there, and they're pretty lengthy. I was wondering if we could maybe and also April 5th is pretty lengthy. I wonder if we could maybe add an extra date, maybe after spring break, and that way you could, because there's important issues on here. If maybe you could be here for that, and I don't know how the other board members feel about that, because it's pretty long. Are we okay to do that? So maybe if we could pick a date.
And our last one, just our last work session was, very robust, very lengthy. We had a lot to talk about.
Yes.
And that's probably going to continue just because we're active. So
Well, I'm wondering
I appreciate
if we ought
that.
to just schedule those work sessions to last all day and take a lunch break. I mean, I've always wondered why we schedule them till noon, but they never just go till noon. And I'm almost thinking that it would be a good idea to schedule each of our work sessions. If we finish early, fine, but then at least it's on our calendar. We schedule a lunch break in there and come back. Because I feel like sometimes we rush through things because we're at the end and we've got other obligations, but if it's on our calendar, we shouldn't have any other obligations.
Right. And we want the estimates of how long the presentations are going to be very generous because, again, this board is active. We ask questions, we discuss things, and then before you know it, what was on there for 15 minutes has now become at least 30, and then it just puts everybody behind. And it makes me feel bad for the folks that are waiting to speak, too. They get to present, they get here at 9 in the morning, and they could be doing a lot of other things, I'm sure, rather than sitting and waiting for us because our timeline is
Madam Chair, I completely agree with that. Just for the record, beginning spring break week and through the first week of first week of May, I am teaching adjunct at Southeastern University beginning at 2:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm happy to say yes all the way to 2 o'clock, but I would have to leave at 2 o'clock anytime it would go beyond that.
Right. And I don't think we've really ever had a work session that's gone longer than 2 or 2:30, maybe 1 or 2. But if we plan for it, I think that, and just time it a little better based on the reality of how long they seem to be taking, I think that's a very good idea.
I just think it's,
Okay, so what about then, because Elena has to make all this magic happen, what would we be looking at? The 4th is going to be pretty much impossible for me to participate from, even remotely, and I really hate to not be part of a lot of that discussion.
There's some big items on there.
So with the 4th, just keep in mind, there are some items there that cannot be moved
That's
due to
what I was thinking.
rulemaking and rule development.
Right.
So for the 4th, the only items that I can see, with Dr. Gullett's approval, of course, that could possibly be moved, would be, you've got the social emotional learning curriculum, so I know you all want to definitely address that. Health, helping struggling learners. These are ones that don't have any timeline attached to it. The district office MTI update, I know that's something else that's heavy on our plate as well. And then the transportation custodial updates, that does not have a timeline. Everything else in the early childhood learning academic proposal does not. So those are some that do not have a timeline as far as rulemaking and rule development that you could, with permission from Dr. Gullett to see, you could move some of those, but the other ones must stay on there for the 4th.
and we have a shade meeting that day.
That is
Right.
correct.
We have shade.
Right. So and that's the one with Mr. Leopard, right?
I think it's,
Yes.
is it Kinder?
No, it's Leopard.
Oh, it's Leopard. Okay.
Right, right. And we're all kind of in the loop on that one, or at least I feel like
What
I'm.
you're wanting to do is move some of those so the meeting's not so long.
Well, I was thinking, so it's not so long, but also our chair will not be here. And I think it's important when we're discussing an MTI, district offices, the SEL curriculum, the early childhood, I think those are big
ticket items.
ticket items that I feel like it would be that we all need to be here on that day.
Could we do it Wednesday, March 10th?
I'm fine with that.
Where are we in terms of advertisement?
We're 2 weeks out.
We're fine. I'd have to advertise by March 2nd if we do a March.
Okay, it hasn't been previously advertised to now. Okay.
Not if we're going to do a new date.
So what you're saying is not have the April 4th at all?
Right. And have it on the 10th, and then just have that be a long day. Schedule.
No, we still have
No.
to have the.
Oh, that's right, because you have a couple of rulemaking ones,
Yeah.
which the ESC, SPs, and Ps, I don't think that there's anything that is,
There is rulemaking and rule development on that. so
there
that's
is,
the same.
but I was thinking more about anything that would be new and special, that's more of pretty much something that has to be done every year, right, Dr. Gullett?
Every 3 years. Those are-
Every 3 years? Okay.
So do those and have the shade meeting and move everything else to March 10th?
That's what I'm thinking, with the help struggling learners, early childhood, learning academy. Pardon?
4th.
You won't be here on the 4th?
That's correct. So,
10th is fine.
so how about we would be doing the ESC, and Ps, the shade session on the 4th.
Can we move the shade session up since we'll
Or
be through with the...
could we do that on the 10th, the shade session?
I think he needed it because he's getting to.
Yeah, I think he needs it.
Okay. Okay.
Can we change the time of the shade?
We can. I can get with Mr. Leopard, and that can be changed, so we could just keep the ESC, SPMP, the review of Macintosh Charter.
Yeah, that's not even on there.
We already reviewed Macintosh.
That's on the next one, that's for April.
No, March 4th, we're reviewing the contract. This is the contract draft that goes before you.
No, further
Hi,
input
Mr.
here.
Lippert.
Leopard's good.
There he is.
Madam Chair, members of the board, we did look at moving a few. We already did move a few.
Yeah.
So some points of clarification. This is just whatever the pleasure of the board is. We're happy to accommodate. The contract piece is just simply the template. So we said we didn't know if that needed to come back for a workshop, but it's going to go through legal review. So for Macintosh, that's simply just template. Because you've heard the presentation twice.
Right.
The ESE, the special program presentation, historically, what I understand here, it's always been a work session item. It doesn't have to be if you want that to be done differently. So that's really an option of the board. I believe the more transparent we are in sharing what that looks like, it's not required that it's a work session item.
What would you suggest? Because I do, the transparency piece is good.
Right, so I'm not saying I have another option, but I'm just saying, for clarification, it doesn't have to go to work session. So it could be put off, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We can do that moving forward, but this one particularly has
It's
already
already
been.
workshopped.
Well, it's already been put in
It's
because
already
you do the
noticed.
rule development that's attached to
That
it.
it has to stay on the 4th, right?
That has to stay.
Okay.
Moving forward, if you all choose not to have to bring that to the work session, we can certainly do that. But just this one, we did do rulemaking.
This one I'm okay with not being here because I can always talk to, the ESC director and ahead of time. Okay,
Are we clear?
We're happy to accommodate whatever the board wants.
so we're going to meet on March 4th and just review again what will be discussed on March 4th and then what will be discussed on March 10th, which is,
A Wednesday instead of a Thursday.
yes.
So just for point of clarification, the only items on the March 4th will be the ESC, SP&P. Is that the only one we're going to do? That's the only one that's rulemaking on that one, since we're not going to do the contract. And then just do the shade afterwards, and then all others go on March 10th? Is that my understanding?
Fine with me.
You okay with that, everybody?
You fine with not being here for the shade?
Yeah, he needs us to do it.
He needs us to do it, and you guys are good negotiators.
Mr. Leopard is indicating that he has some flexibility.
So can we move this shade to the 10th and
Oh.
you'll be back?
Okay, that would be even better. I'm sorry, you guys, if it could be helped, trust me.
No.
Well, as long as we make sure that the 10th we schedule all day, because that's a long agenda.
Right.
We can't say at 12 and then have a shade meeting. It's not going to happen.
Right, no.
Okay, so if we do that, when would you all take your break? So I have to, 11:30 to 12?
Well, and again, if you guys feel like, I'm okay with the shade, I have confidence in my board. So I'm okay with that. So that would make the shade and the SPs and Ps on the 4th, and then everything else would be on the 10th.
That makes a lot more sense.
So we'll leave the shade and everything on the 4th.
Okay, yeah,
It's earlier, Mr. Leopard.
right. And then that way you get your answers and, okay. All right, we're good? Whew. Thank you very much. Okay, Ms. King,
That was it.
That was it?
I was just looking at that, thinking it's pretty
Right.
lengthy, and there was important topics that you needed to.
Yep, and that I really want to be here for, so thank you very much, everybody, for your flexibility, I appreciate it. Okay, Ms. McCall.
Yes, I have good news. Dr. Gullett and I attended the Public Education Foundation board meeting this morning, and it was tremendous. I want to personally congratulate Megan Magamal, who is the new executive director, and she was so inspirational and motivated today. That foundation is in excellent hands. Her passion is very, very clear, and she is knowledgeable. And as her board of directors said, they will not miss a beat. But I just wanted to share some things with you. They talked a lot about tools for teaching, and the store is up and running, and they are having visitors, and of course they're doing the social distancing, but they also have 21 of our schools that are able to order online.
Yes.
And Lakeware Middle and Lakeware High School are doing the logistics for that in their logistics program and packing everything up and getting them to the schools. So I just think that's, putting our kids to work in things that they can actually be involved in. But I was pleased that 21 of our schools actually can order online. The schools that are Ocala proper and closer, they can't, and they really don't have the ability because of the logistics. They wouldn't be able to have all schools online. The other thing, they talked a lot about scholarships, and I just wanted to share that other than the Take Stock scholarships, We have, the Public Ed Foundation hosts quite a few scholarships. They actually host 20 senior scholarships outside of Take Stock in Children. But I wanted to share with you this evening 2 that have come up. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about Signature Brands, because Signature Brands, they do so much for our schools. They are a partner with Shady Hill. They have 14 of their employees are currently mentoring. They sponsor many Take Stock in Children students, and oftentimes they are their employees their children are going into Take Stock. But what they have recently done is they have given, each year they will give $25,000 to the Public Ed Foundation for them to award 5 scholarships outside of Take Stock in Children that their employees' children can actually apply for. So I just think Signature Brands continues to step up, and I thought that that was really remarkable that they have decided they're committed to Take Stock and those scholarships, but they wanted to do more for their employees. So I thought that was great. And then the other one that I really wanted to highlight, there is a young lady who is a Vanguard High School graduate. Her name is Danielle, I hope I pronounced this right, Tarigha, Tarigha. She is an author, and she has written her very first book. Oh, wow. And her book is called Uplift and Empower. And she lives, I believe, in Manhattan, but she has set up a scholarship. She went to Vanguard High School, and she has set up a scholarship for Vanguard High School students to apply. And it is called the Uplift and Empower Scholarship. And she truly believes that you can get out of poverty by going on and getting your education. And so she truly is giving the profits from her book, some of her profit, to help with these scholarships. So she is one of our own. And she is giving back to our community. So I thought all of that was great news that I wanted to share with all of you. So that's all, Madam Chairman.
Thank you very much. Great stuff. All right, Board Member Cummings.
Good evening, everybody. Very, very good meeting. We start off with a lot of great presentations up front, and I just love to see the collaboration that we have with those in the community and all the great things. I did want to kind of hit on, understand what the teachers are saying and with the MEA and all that stuff. We not only hear you guys, some things we just have to kind of wait on and let get to in the right perspective so we can deal with it. We have an excellent team in place. Our Superintendent, Dr. Gullett, and our Deputy, Mark Villanello. We know that they are on things and they are working on it, so we don't ever want them to think that we're not listening to them and that we don't hear them. We truly do hear them. As I said yesterday, I was at schools, several schools, but though I just kept seeing these things happening. And parents, this is to the parents, we need you to get your kids to school if you're car riders and get them there on time. Every minute that they're away from instruction hurts that kid. It hurts the teachers as well, but it hurts the kid most importantly because they need every second that they can get in front of a live instructor, especially during this pandemic. So I'm going to encourage the parents to please do whatever you need to do. If you got to get up early, whatever you need to do to get these kids to school on time. It does not look good when they're tardy. It's excessive tardies. It hurts them in the long run. And so I want to encourage the parents to please get these kids to school. We did hear some interesting news today. One reason I'm late and I'm dressed like I am, I've been in vaccination mode the past few weeks, if you guys haven't known, since January, trying to deal with getting vaccinations out into the community. And I had an interesting meeting at the health department today. As many of you know, the governor did say that they were going to move teachers and law enforcement officers up into getting the vaccinations. be patient. It's not going to happen overnight. It won't be tomorrow. And there's a lot of things that has to be worked out. Our superintendent and our local Department of Health have to work those things out. So please don't just start bombarding us saying, are we getting the shot tomorrow? Are we getting it next week? There's a whole lot more behind it than just what we think. But we want to know that it's coming. Obviously, the governor's heard not just only our district, but other districts that have asked that this be pushed to the forefront. So it's coming. I also heard from a teacher today, and it moved me almost to cry. And I'm not one that cries a lot, but when I heard a teacher call me today at one of our elementary schools that is being quarantined right now, and she was extremely emotional, extremely frustrated about this COVID and everything like that. And I just want to say, and we've said it many times, grace and compassion during this time that we're dealing with our staff. We have to understand that everybody doesn't handle stress the same way. We have to not just deal with people as if it's okay, they're going to get beyond it. Some people, we have to talk to them a little bit more. And we have this staff member was extremely upset because not only is she has to be quarantined from, she just lost a parent to COVID. And then now she's quarantined because of COVID. And she's not able to be with her family at this difficult time. So I just want to remind our staff that please, and I say this all the time, we're getting close to getting out the woods, but we're not out the woods. We need you to still exercise all necessary precautions, still do the mask, still do the things that are necessary, because that was one of the things she was like, these people just don't care about my health. We do care about your health. But it has to be shown school-wide, district-wide. Wherever we are, we need to be doing what we need to be doing to show that we're concerned about our fellow man. And just taking care of each other. We've done a good job of taking care of each other this year and beyond. And I'm asking that we continue to take care of each other and be sensitive to what we're in. And everybody doesn't react the same way to the same things all the time. So let's be cognizant of that and just exercise some real grace and compassion and know there's some people that's right on the edge and little things can push them over. And we need to not just take it as it's just another day in the office. We have to be serious and aware of these types of things. So with that being said, I'm good with my comments.
Thank you very much, Board Member Cummings. And as you were speaking, I was reminded all over again that employees, we all have access to the Employee Assistance Program. And the counseling that is provided through that program is confidential and it's free and covers so many bases, and everybody has their own feelings about going for counseling. But I know so many people that have availed themselves, but it is still underutilized. And so rather than holding on to things, it's just so much better to make that phone call, and I think that can be a very, very helpful resource for our employees. So I just wanted to mention that again for folks. It's easy to forget when you're so deep in your own, just in your own struggle. But we are all feeling it, and we all want to help each other get through. So thank you. Thank you very much for your comments. Board Member Campbell.
I mainly wanted to offer some shout outs tonight, but I had a couple of things I wanted to share. Just because some of you may not go over the consent agenda necessarily, not the board, I'm talking about people watching. I am excited that we did approve tonight the position for the Chief Academic Officer. I think that's going to be a great position for this school district and really move us in the right direction as focusing on academics. But as Randy Alvord mentioned earlier about the Southeastern Youth Fair, I just wanted to congratulate all the Youth Fair participants and the winners. And I believe that the gentleman who came, I think his name is Tyler, did win the speech contest, I believe, if I saw that correctly on Twitter. So everyone's doing a great job, and I think the steer auction's going on right now, perhaps. Also wanted to say congratulations to Hannah Collette of Bellevue High School, who is a state champion weightlifter. These are all things we've seen on Twitter, but I just wanted to officially give a shout out. Also, best of luck right now to Forest basketball team playing in the regional semis. They're playing right now. Tip-off was at 7 p.m., and it is sold out, so you can flip, as soon as this is over, flip on over to the YouTube channel, the Forest High School YouTube channel, and watch that game. Also, just congratulations to our winter sports scholar athletes, and best of luck to all of our spring scholar athletes who are taking fields and courts and mats and everything else heading in to the spring season. Also wanted to offer a shout out to Mr. Ayers and his school choice team, because acceptance emails went out this week. And so that's a lot of activity that, actually, I guess it was last week, a lot of activity that his office has been putting forth. And I know that's a lot of work and challenging navigating all those assignments. So thank you for all that they do for our district. I also wanted to just mention on a little bit different note, we get alerts often that can sometimes be a little disturbing from time to time. And so I just wanted to just mention that it does appear that some of the things that I've seen of late, where there seems to be some confusion between what is right and wrong. And I'm not saying confusion of the board, I'm not saying confusion of staff, I'm just saying confusion collectively as a community. The differences in right and wrong. And when students are left to their own judgment, they often may choose wrongly. And it's up to parents to encourage positive behaviors. But as you were mentioning, parents, we need your help in making sure your kids get to school on time. Parents, we also need your help in being positive influences on your children. Sometimes those not so positive influences actually become unclear and inaccurate definitions of right and wrong. And what's even more disturbing to me is when wrong behaviors are reinforced by groupthink mentality. So it's easy to really get wrapped up in emotions and allow emotions to cloud one's judgment. But I just want to encourage our students and our parents and our employees to make wise choices. And moving forward, if there are any gray areas in our policies and procedures that could cause any confusion, then my hope is that this board will be clearly defining those and ensuring implications and consequences of negative decisions are explicitly followed. And finally, I am looking forward to some committee work that begins tomorrow, actually for me, and rescheduling some of our events that were rained out on Friday last week of greenhouses and raised garden beds, the Marion Hospital District, Marion County Hospital District, and the FANS program. And those were rained out on Friday. I was disappointed, so I'm looking forward to those being rescheduled. But that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Campbell. And yes, we have so many uplifting things that are going on, and something I wanted to showcase tonight. I just thought this was so cool, and I didn't even realize it at the time when I started going to this particular doctor's office. But now I know that the majority of the staff there are Marion County Public Schools graduates. And not only are they Marion County Public Schools graduates, but they did things like earning their diploma and then going on to, MTC to become medical assistants, and are now going on to CF to start their nursing program. There's another really cool young lady that did the allied health classes and then sat for the national medical assisting exam. And these were all opportunities that came from being a Marion County Public Schools student. Another young lady earned her high school diploma and graduated from Westport High and then on to MTC to study business management. Just doing all kinds of interesting things. And then the massage therapist there actually was on her way to the Olympics and the WNBA before she had an injury, that was pretty catastrophic when you're competing at that level. But did she quit? No, she reinvented herself and became a licensed massage therapist, and she's been doing that for 25 years. and that is right down the street. And I'll just say it's Ocala Chiropractic and Injury. And I just want to thank them so much for taking such good care of a lot of our employees go there. And this is when, for me, the connection is made, that all the hard work we put in here, all the passion that we put into it, we see it, come back out in the community. And to spend time with these young people and hearing their stories and what they've been able to accomplish. And, sometimes life is easier for some people than others, but you just keep rolling and you keep doing and you continue to do your best. And so I just thought that was great. I wanted to end that tonight. It really crystallized for me all over again why we're here and why we do what we do. So thank you very much, everybody, for everything tonight. And I appreciate your flexibility on the work sessions, especially. It means the world to me not to miss anything. And so I appreciate everyone's flexibility on that. And if we've covered everybody and nothing else for the good of the cause, we'll go ahead and adjourn at. Oh, yes. I'm always ready to just go right past those and not talk about them at all. All right.
Page 14.
Yep. We are there. Okay.
Doing that on an unrelated note, I'm just going to pass these out quietly.
Okay, thank you. Before addressing expulsion matters, I wish to acknowledge that board members have received the alternative placement list for students through February 2nd, 2021. Ms. Martinez-Lopez, are there any parents who have submitted a timely request to speak on their child's disciplinary matter?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the expulsion of student JD 21-033, JD 21-036E, and JD 21-037 with educational services for the remainder of the 2020-2021 school year and the first semester of the 2021-2022 school year.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. King. Second by Ms. McCall. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion passes 5-0. There being no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by McCall, second by King. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned at 7:12 p.m. Thank you, everyone.